Today we are going to try the gouache paints. I have been wanting to try them forever, and I've had them for like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, and I've been dying to try them. Before I go any further, I just have to say my new camera mount / ring light is not working. I have submitted to return it and have a new one coming. The light just keeps shutting off. So the quality of this video is probably going to suck, just so you know. Anyway, I got the gouache paints. I'm super excited, super nervous to try them. So I'm going to try to do something simple. I'm going to do a real-time video, no time lapse today. I may skip over some parts when I'm doing my illustration because God knows how long it's going to take me. On Procreate last night, I sketched this with my colored pencil pens on there. This is what I'm going to redraw today with gouache. No idea how it's going to work out because I have to do a lot of color mixing. Honestly, it's probably not going to look great. This turned out really cute though. I'm going to just first paint a color wheel. The three primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. So they cannot be recreated by any other colors. So they are the base colors that create all other colors. So you cannot mix any two colors to create any of those. But then they mix together to go on to create all the other colors. It's actually really cool if you think about it. All right, so first I'm going to try wet on wet. So I'm going to first get a little bit of a color. Apparently it doesn't take very much. You can mix them with water, like a watercolor, but they are supposed to have more of a creamy consistency. I think okay, that pen obviously doesn't. Oh my God, this video is going to be a disaster. I think, so that kind of has like a watercolor effect to it, which is what I'm used to. That's nice. I wonder if it blooms. Not really. So bloom is when you have like wet paper with like an acrylic and then you touch it like that and then it just kind of like, you know, it blooms a little bit, I guess. Interesting. I don't know. It's not mixing with water like I thought it would. I can still see like little bits of the paint in there. See the little bits there? I've had some tubed watercolors before that do this, where they don't ever really dissolve. So I'm really hoping that that's not going to be the case. It could be that I'm just not even doing this right. I mean, it does have like a watercolor finish, but see them little bits there? I don't want that. They should be dissolved. Maybe it's because I'm using orange, and the orange is my least favorite color ever. All right, let's try dry on wet.
And for this, I'm going to use green, I think. So this is just the paint out of the tube on dry paper. So this is where it's going to have more of like an acrylic feel to it. Ooh, that's nice.
I don't even have that on camera. So that was not helpful at all. Okay, I can tell you right now that this illustration that I'm going to do is going to look like garbage. I'm going to try dry on wet one more time. Let's do red, I guess. I don't know, this just feels weird. It feels weird because it feels like I'm adding water to acrylic paints, which you don't do. I mean, I guess technically you could. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You know, I've seen several people using a different brand of these gouache paints. And I got these Winsor Newton ones because that's the watercolors that I use and I love them. And so I just figured I would like these the same. But I'm wondering if, I don't know. That's all right. I mean, I'm not like in awe yet. All right, so what I'm going to do here is test. I'm probably going to do 2 different colors, and this is just to test how opaque it is. And I know that they said on some of the tubes that it should tell you on the back how opaque it is. Like I've seen ones where it has like a little circle. And then on the circle, it's either like not filled in or half filled in or all filled in. And that would tell you like how opaque it was. But I don't see that on these. So that's kind of disappointing. So we'll do a light color like yellow and then a darker color, we'll try blue. So what I'm going to do is just go over these lines, and what I'm looking for is to see if the black lines show through, because if this was watercolor, they would show through. I mean, you can see through it a little bit. You know, I'm not going to lie, I'm not super impressed by the quality of these. And it's like it almost feel okay. You know what it feels like? Have you guys ever had those like Crayola finger paints that come in like the little tubs? I'm actually gonna find a picture and like pop it up right here. But it's like those finger paints that come in these tubs, and they almost have this kind of like this translucent jelly kind of thing going on. That's what these feel like. It feels like I'm painting with Crayola finger paints. Now you can see on that one the black line like showed all the way through. All right, so now I'm gonna do this color wheel, and I know that I have green and orange over here already, but I am gonna do the mixing on all of this. So let's start with the red. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I think I'm supposed to be adding water to them like this. I think. I mean, that looks right. That looks good right there. Like I think that's how they're supposed to look, but it just feels wrong. And I think it's just because I'm so used to the watercolors. But whatever. I also want to see how good my pencil lines are gonna hide. That's definitely too dry. See how you can see like that kind of like brush stroke dry edge? We don't want that. That's better. You know, the illustration is going to take days because there's no way in hell I'm gonna get that illustration done in one sitting, because I know I'm gonna be frustrated with it because I'm still trying to figure out these paints. See how you can see that line right there? I don't know if you guys can see it, but I don't love that. Okay. I read too online that it said that acrylic paints were much more affordable. Maybe it was the other way around. Yeah, affordable than wash paints. And I would agree with that when you buy them like from like Walmart. But like when you buy like acrylic craft paints, I do not. I mean, I guess you can paint with them. I personally do not like painting with that. It could be that I don't, because I don't like acrylic. I have a hard time seeing brush strokes. That bothers me. But all right, so now, because I already have blue on my brush, I know I want to go ahead and do the yellow here, but since this is already dirty, I'm going to go ahead and mix my red and my blue. And I don't have this color in my set, so I would have to mix it anyways. So we'll just see how this goes here. We'll see. This is one of the colors that just doesn't mix super great. So purple is always a difficult color. Even in, I mean, I've seen like in like paints and makeup, purple is always a difficult color, I think, to mix. And it also, it's hard to make it where it's not muddy looking. And I've noticed if I ever have like a purplish colored like paint that's already mixed, they kind of have more of a yeah, I'm gonna end up using all this red. They almost have like this grainy texture. They don't blend as easy and stuff like that. I probably spread this around too much and now it's like all just on here. Whatever. All right. So this is purple. That's an okay purple. I'm actually okay with that. I always want a brighter purple, but it's never bright. But this is a good plum color. I think I kind of feel like I am going to I like mixed media art, and so what that means is like I love to do like watercolor and then finish it with colored pencil. And I feel like I'll want to be the same way with this, where I use wash and watercolor and colored pencil. I don't think I could ever just use this by itself. And the more I'm using it, the more I am like, that illustration of that little mouse with her basket of flowers is gonna look like garbage. There's no way that I'm gonna be able to paint that thing with these colors. I've been watching so many videos online of people with gouache paints, and the texture just looks so much better than this. All right, I knew that on this one, because it's yellow, that the dark lines like that would probably show through. But I am disappointed to see that it doesn't even cover up pencil lines. That's disappointing. Because that's basically like watercolor. I mean, it's a little bit creamier, but I could probably cover those lines up with watercolor. Okay, I'm not excited about that. So now I'll go ahead and just take the rest of this blue and mix it over here with the yellow. So we already have a green, but I want to mix to see what the green would look like if I mix it. So we could do more of a bluish green, which kind of looks like teal. Oh, that looks nice. All right, so lastly, we're going to make orange, which we already have an orange over here, but again, I want to mix it, and I'm out of the two colors that I need, so we're just going to do some more red and some more yellow. We have a little bit of yellow there, but I don't think it's enough, so I just can't get over how much they feel like those Crayola finger paints. I mean, they're more creamy, but they're just not, I don't know. I mean, they're just not as, yeah, even the reviews on these were good. I can't believe how good these reviews were. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take the same color wheel and then off to the side of each one, I'm going to do that same color in watercolor that I have. Same brand. I'm actually going to use Winsor & Newton brand to keep it real, to keep it, you know, fair. So I made little circles next to the other colors with pencil, and I even used the pencil a little darker to see if my watercolors will cover up the pencil marks and look better than this gouache, which is supposed to be more opaque. I'm going to use my Winsor & Newton watercolors to keep it fair. So This is what we're going to use. So we're going to start with red. We're going to do the Winsor red. So this is wet on dry. So I have not wet my paper at all. So what that means is that by doing it this way, I'm going to get the most opaque color that I can with the watercolors. I already like that better. I really wanted to love those, but I'm going to. Okay, so for my blue, I'm going to use Winsor Newton's, probably French Ultra is the most, they got Winsor Blue, I'll use Winsor Blue. When watercolors dry, they dry lighter. So they go on darker, dry lighter. And I've read that wash paints are the opposite. They will not, some of them dry lighter, some of them dry darker. So I've heard that it's kind of hard to figure out, or it takes some time to figure out which colors dry lighter and darker, so that when you're painting, you have to constantly keep that in mind when you're picking colors of how they're going to dry. Where with watercolors, you can just typically expect all of them to dry lighter and then have to go over and glaze over it with another coat. So that may end up drying to be kind of more of that color. We'll see. All right, so now I'm going to do on the yellow, I'm going to do a color that is called, I think I'm saying this right, it's called Gambish. I'm actually going to use lemon yellow. I think I am happy with the brushes though. Yeah, I knew that the yellow would not cover the pencil. In fact, I think it just like made it like worse. I actually prefer a yellow in my other palette. And I think the other palette that I have is, oh, what's this brand? It's from Hobby Lobby. And it's, what is it? I think it's their brand of art supplies that they have. That's called like Master's Touch, I think. And it's a more affordable watercolor palette than the Winsor Newton ones. I actually like it just as much as my Winsor Newton. There's a lot of colors in it that I don't have. The only thing I don't like about that one is I don't have a red. Like there's two shades of a pinkish color. It has a crimson red, but I think it has too much of a pink tint to it. Where with the Winsor Newton one, I get like an actual like red color. All right, so now I'm gonna mix. So I'm gonna mix my Winsor red and Winsor blue to get a purple. See how muddy that is? Which is not terrible. Yeah, it's muddy. I mean, it's all right when you do it a little bit lighter. I think I'm actually going to add a tint more red to it. That's a little better. Yeah, that's muddy. Do not love that color at all. But I am going to show you what the purple looks like in this. So I don't know how they are able to get this color and I'm not, but whatever. See, let me lift it a little bit so you can see. See, that's a good purple. I'm going to mix the Winsor blue and lemon yellow. Oh, that's a good green. Isn't it fun? I love color mixing. All right, now we're going to make orange with Winsor red, which I need to order more Winsor red. It's going to be just about out. And I will say, that reminds me, my husband bought me these Winsor paints. Oh my gosh, it's been maybe like 5 years, 5 or 6 years or something. And that's how long these paints last. I mean, I guess if I use them every single day, they probably wouldn't last this long. And some colors obviously last longer than other colors. Like, you know, my red's about gone. I use a lot of green or umber. But some of these colors, like that one, I barely even used. You know, like these, I barely even used. I want to try watercolors. I know that it's like these were maybe $50 or something. The ones from Hobby Lobby, I think, were maybe around more like 30-ish. It seems like a lot when you're buying them, I think, but they last so long. But the thing I feel like with gouache that I thought about was these tubes. Every time I want to use them, I have to like dump them out and then squeeze some out. And so I feel like it's a little bit more wasteful. Like that right there I didn't even use, but when it dries I should be able to reactivate it. So like this right here is dry from me using it a little bit ago, but if I just get some water on my brush and then get it wet, it'll reactivate it just like the watercolor. So that is nice. I've heard that with gouache that when you reactivate it like that, it's just more watery and you never get that opaque creaminess that you get when you squeeze it out of the tube. Where with watercolors, I don't ever have that. Like when I reactivate them with water, I like almost always get the same consistency that I had and want. And if I don't, then I can just add a little bit more to it, which I guess is the same thing with the gouache. I don't know. Watercolors just feel easier to me. But okay, I'm going to mix this last color and stop talking. So for this one, I'm going to use the Windsor Red and then Lemon Yellow. You know what I really want to do? I really want to repaint that mouse illustration in my watercolors and not mess with those gouache paints, but we're gonna try it. Honestly, maybe it'll be fun to just go for it and then laugh at how crappy it looks. I feel like I like the watercolors better because you don't get all the brush strokes. See how there's a bunch of brush strokes in this green here? So I don't love how there is a lot of brush strokes in the green or the blue for that matter. You can see them. Actually all of them. Here's the orange and the red. And I don't like that. I know some people like the brush strokes. I don't love that. I'm actually going to use this Windsor orange right here to just make a circle like that big. Let me move this so that you can see when I make a circle that big that it doesn't give me the brush strokes in it. Now, because it's kind of wet, it may dry with like some blooming effect. But I would prefer that over these brush strokes. And for those of you that don't know what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about a bloom, I'll show you what that is. So if you have just water or wet paint, and then I take orange paint or whatever color paint, it goes from like the center kind of like, there you go. That's a bloom. I don't mind those. That actually looks like an egg. I don't mind that. I don't like the brush strokes, but I feel like I can control this kind of stuff more. And I like the way it dries better. But see how smooth this one is over the gouache one? I'm actually going to go over this one just to see what it looks like with watercolor. It's going to lift some up. It doesn't smooth it out, the brush strokes, but the color got better. Interesting. After this little trial thing here, I am not loving these at all. I am really disappointed. I thought I was going to love these. I'm not going to say, I'm going to keep messing with them, but I do feel like I hate to say it because I love Winsor & Newton, but I feel like maybe I want to try a different brand because I just can't get over how much these feel like Crayola finger paints. The white was one of the things I was looking forward to, actually. I want to try that real quick. One of the bad things about watercolor is when you want to do white, like accent or anything like that, or highlight, you have to use a paint, like a thick paint or a paint pen. And so I was excited to try the gouache for the white, for like a highlight effect like this. See how now it looks kind of like a bubble? So I do think that I like that. I think I'll like to have the white on hand for this purpose. I don't know. I'm still going to use them, and I'm still going to keep playing with them to see if I like them. But as of right now, I still prefer the watercolors. I don't know. I guess I'm going to go ahead and paint this mouse. But to be honest with you, I just want to paint it with watercolor. I initially was going to paint this with gouache. Still going to try. But because it doesn't cover the lines as well as I expected, I am going to go in and erase a lot of this and just make it so that it's just a very faint lines. So that way I can still see what I'm doing, but it doesn't show through. I do not have high hopes for this at all. So we'll see how this goes. I also need to let go of my expectations that it's going to look anything like the colored pencil one that I drew, because it's probably not going to. I don't think the colors are going to be exact. I'm really trying to tell myself that and understand that it's not going to be the exact colors, and that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to just go for it. I think one of the things about about gouache that I will kind of struggle with is, like, see how it's covered up my pencil lines, which I want it to cover up my pencil lines sometimes, like when I don't want them to show, like my outline. But then sometimes when I sketch details, like on the skirt here, or like the eyes and the nose and stuff, and it hides it, then I'm worried that I won't be able to like recreate how I want it to look if I can't see my original sketch. So that is something that I don't know that I'll like about gouache. I will say though, I cannot stand seeing the paint lines. That bothers me. Some people like the paint lines, so I don't know. Maybe I just need to embrace it. And who knows, maybe this will end up being cuter than I thought, because a lot of the times when I'm painting stuff, honestly, every time that I'm painting something, you can ask my husband, I complain all the time about how unhappy I am with how things are turning out. And I do know that with watercolors, it's like a very trust the process thing, like where every time I paint anything, there's always a point where I'm like, this is bad. And then you just have to keep going, because it's a very like layered effect, like where anytime that you start a watercolor painting, it always looks like crap for the first little bit, because the first layers that you put down never look good. Honestly, this head's looking cute. I haven't even done anything to it. But anyway, it's a very like trust the process kind of thing where you just have to keep going. A lot of times I will hate stuff until it's all the way done. And I think it's because I like the fine details. So I had like when you're just kind of like painting in or drawing the basic shapes like this, it's very hard to like love it. But once I go in at the very end with like my colored pencils and give everything a little bit more detail, and shading and highlights and stuff like that is always when things come together for me. Like this hand is probably going to end up looking bad because I can't really see where the fingers are that I had. I like these new brushes. I will say it's taking me a little bit to get used to how this really fine tip. I'm not used to having that much of a fine tip. All right, so here on this feet, see, I can't really see where I had my feet. Okay, I know that one ended right there. I don't know how well it's gonna like hide the green underneath without looking weird. So we'll see. I think I would want them for when I'm making like leaves or when I'm going in for like really fine details. Yeah, I don't know. I ended up painting the basket what I thought was going to be a different shade of brown, even did some mixing, and it ended up being the same color as the head. I don't know how that happened because it doesn't look the same as in the pan. You can see where I mixed the brown. Before, this was a very dark brown. Here, I'll show you a little swab. Like that's what it looked like in the pan before. You can see it's not the same, but it looks the same on the paper, so that's awesome. We're going to try and make sage green. All right, I think it actually worked. It's more of a mint. Maybe not. Maybe it'll dry fine. Who knows? I have no idea how any of these colors are going to dry, so they could all turn out totally different than what I thought, so who knows what's going to happen. You know, I've been thinking lately about why I have such a hard time letting my art be imperfect and messy and just practicing and sketching and just all that kind of stuff, why I have such a hard time with it. And honestly, it's because I hate to be wasteful. Like, so to me, like, I know it's like for a good cause because I'm getting better by practicing and learning new things, but like to me, like it's just like this mouse, for an example. When I'm done with this, I'm probably going to throw it in the garbage. And I do that with a lot of stuff. Unless I think it's good or unless I think it's been, I would say, impactful on my art, like learning and stuff like that, then I'll keep it because I feel like I can look back on it and see it as like a time that I saw improvement or that I really liked it or it motivated me or something like that. But for the most part, I don't have that when I practice and do things. And so it just feels like a waste of paint and paper and time. And so it honestly stops me from spending time on things because I feel like I was actually just talking to another YouTuber about this yesterday about how it's just so hard to spend time and supplies and things like that on something when I expect a result. Like when I'm like, oh, why would I spend time and paper and paint and all of the stuff on this illustration when it's not going to give me the result that I know that I want? And so then I just don't do it at all because I'm not embracing the process. I'm just expecting some kind of end result. And I get frustrated or it's not the way I want it to be or whatever. And so then it keeps me from doing it at all. I end up not doing a lot of art because of that. And because of that, I'm not growing and improving because I'm not spending enough time practicing and doing stuff like this where I hate it. But even though I don't like the way it turned out and I don't feel like it was impactful to my journey, it's still good because I'm still practicing and I'm still doing something and I'm allowing myself to see. I don't know what I'm doing there. All right, here we go. And it's allowing me to like, be ugly with my art. I was telling my husband last night when I was doing that illustration of this mouse. I love watercolor, but I think colored pencil is probably my favorite. I mean, like this right here, it's gonna turn out fine. Like this is one of the trust the process moments where this looks terrible right now. I'll show you here in a second the way that it turned out on when I drew it on iPad with my colored pencil pen. The little flower basket turned out so cute. Ah, no, there's too much water on the brush. That's extremely frustrating. Oh my gosh, that's better than it was. I'm going to grab my illustration from last night just so you can see how much better it was than what this looks like. Okay, so this is my illustration from last night. I have it at an angle to keep I do have a light. My other one quit working, but that's a book light that I'm using. So right now, look at this flower pot that I'm working on. And then look at this one and how beautiful that is. I just, and the thing is that I know that I could create that on paper with watercolor and colored pencil. I'm just having an extremely difficult time getting that to look right. The colors aren't right. It's too much of a Kelly green, like an emerald green. And look at the difference I did get the color of her dress somewhat, I guess. But, plus, okay, so another thing I don't like about it, see how on this gouache painting, it's very brush strokey. Is that even a word? Brush strokey? Yeah, whatever. I don't like that look. I know that some people do, but I just don't like that. But I do like the look of pencil. See how it's like, got that kind of textured pencil look to it? I like that. I like that I can control the pencil with shading and stuff like that. Yeah, I forgot to trace her feet. I just am really, I love this look so much and hate this look so much that this looks very like Peppa Pig, which I don't even know if I can say that on here because of copyright, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just really hating it. And I don't even want to finish it. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I don't even know how long this video is getting, but I'm going to stop with the gouache because I feel like it's just going to get worse from here. So what I think I'm going to do is just go over some spots with a colored pencil and see if I can kind of save it a little bit, because at this point I feel like that's all I can do. So just going to try and touch it up with some colored pencil and see what happens.
I know it's nothing new, but it's so good to see you. We do this every day, and I'm still so amazed by you. So hold me tight through the night. It's just us two, me and you. Oh, oh, I can't believe you love me. Oh, I just feel so lucky. Oh, still can't believe you love me. I hope it never ends, this being more than friends, yeah.
I am going to try the white gouache right out of the tube for some of this. And this gouache was kind of oily. So this will be nice to have this gouache whenever I need to do a highlight like this. I wanted to love gouache. I wanted to be just in awe about how amazing it was, because it was literally combining the best of watercolor and acrylics. And I'm not giving up. I feel like I need to try a new brand to really get a good opinion about it. In the meantime, I think I'm going to just mix it with my watercolors so that it doesn't go to waste. The only thing I liked about these paints at all was the white, and being able to have a paint that would go on top of other paints, whether it be watercolors or gouache, that would show up for a highlight, and I wouldn't have to use this pen, because honestly, this pen works. You know, I'll draw another little flower here. It works, but not very well. Like, I have to dab it like that, and it might look okay right there, but then it ends up kind of like fading as it dries. And so then I have to go back over it. And then it doesn't do well over paints just because the tip of it gets kind of like gunky. And so I do like the white paint. Other than that, I don't like anything about it, to be honest. I want to share the ups and downs of art. You know, I even fall into the trap of this where I get online and I see everything everyone else is doing, and it makes me feel like I'm not good enough, and, you know, like I don't even know what I'm doing. Lots of stuff. And I know that there are people who look to my art and love it. And so I guess I just want to share all of it. I just want to share when things are good and when things are bad, and when things look awesome and things look like garbage, and trying new things. That was my whole purpose of wanting to do the art thing. I don't like it. Anyway, so in other news, my office is beautiful. You'll probably see I got a new desk. But I do have just some finishing touches. I think I've gotten everything that I've ordered. I do need to hang up some more stuff, and I want to maybe add a shelf above my desk. But otherwise, I should be able to share the video of my room before and after sooner than I thought. But just to be on the safe side, I'm probably still not going to get it up until the first of the month. Thank you guys for coming by my video today to watch me try and struggle with gouache paints. I'm so disappointed. I wanted to love them so much. I'm going to keep trying them. All right, I'm not going to quit saying that. Don't forget to like and subscribe and help my channel out, and I will see you next week. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of freaking out about today. I'm nervous. I don't know why. I should just be excited. Anyway, my office. Oh my god, this light. Go over some parts in the illustration. Oh my god. Yeah, another thing that irritates me about this ring light is because I got it for a decent price, and I love a bargain, and I'm frugal, and my husband was giving me a hard time telling me that I should have bought one that was a better quality, and it looks like he was right. You know what? He doesn't get that very often. But I bet he saves this video forever and ever and ever, so he can hear that over and over. Okay, that's nice. I was worried that it was gonna like lose its shape once it got wet, but oh my, that's nice. Okay, I don't know. Oh, well, let's just hope that that's given enough light, because that's what I have to work with. This brush is from, like, what is that? That's a bead. I thought that was like the brush. You know how sometimes they have like a, you know, like a holding kind of ribbed situation. I thought that's what it was, and this is some cheap brush that one of my kids put a bead on. These I barely even used. I don't love that color. It's okay. It's just I don't. You know. I got gouache paint all over the place. What in the world? Where is all this paint coming from? Every time I turn around, oh shit, there it is. That sucks. Look at that. And there's more. Darn it. I hope that comes out. This is one of my favorite shirts. I'm an idiot. I can't believe I wore this shirt when I was painting. I drew it on iPad with my colored pencil pen. This looks like shit. Look at that. I hate this. I don't even want to finish it. I hate this so much. I mean, like, a lot. About ready to call it quits, because I really don't like it that much. I really wanted to be able to finish this illustration for this video so that it was worth something, because honestly, I feel like I've offered nothing in this video because my lighting doesn't work. The painting sucks as far as how it looks and how it's going. I just really don't like it. And the table's wobbly again. Oh my god. Someday I'm gonna get this whole thing figured out. One of the most disorganized and low quality YouTube channels that there ever has lived. I hate everything about this. I have no idea what I'm even going to put in this video because I felt like there was nothing. I don't even know if I got anything good, to be honest. There might be a video this week that comes up that just says, hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I was just getting on here to let you know that there would be a video this week because my video that I made sucked. So look at that. She looks like she's got like a humpback. I mean, which, no offense to anyone that has humpback, but I did not intend on that. And I just now noticed it. Looks kind of funky. Her bow turned out kind of cute though. Just the signing on and signing off feels so awkward. Stella, why am I terrible at this? Thank you guys so much for coming by my videos today. My videos. This is just one video, not two, just one. Jeez. Thank you for coming. I will see you next week, and I'll see you in the next video. Next week, in the next video. I'll see you next week. One of these is gonna work for the final cut. I need to just step away from this, and I'm gonna go eat my feelings with some chicken salad and Coke. For a minute though, and see. I got a lot of these. I can't believe how many of these brushes are in there. I mean, is it necessary? Probably not. Is it necessary that I drink my own urine? No, but it's sterile and I like the taste. All right, that's not me, by the way. That's from a movie, Dodgeball. So I don't drink my own pee. Forget what I said about subscribing. Just unsubscribe.